Hey, y'all know the vibes.
Y'all niggas covered a lot of ground lately, man.
This would be the nastiest WWF 90s theme music for a wrestler.
And keep generating and share with your family.
This definitely sounds like somebody about to fight the Undertaker.
To come in millions.
Hey, the beat pretty tough. It's a move setter, dark, ominous, and it has that slow pace to it. But with all that Raekwon talking, this is exactly why I be skipping the intros on this channel. This is Chef Dreds.
Hanging out the Royce with the Russian. Everybody ducking. Only 5 niggas got hit. Fuck it. Halos over Paul Major. Watch for Lucifer.
Only 5?
Beam on the Draco.
Y'all know I like when one rapper end off with a rhyme scheme and the other rapper jump in with the same rhyme scheme. This ducking, jump in, lunch and rhyme scheme.
I told them that this shit don't come in, you gotta want it. And have that money back on time to me if I front it. I pull that gun up and slip it, you better run it.
Look, I ain't really understand why people got shot in the drug game until somebody owed me money. Like, after that happened, they start ducking you. I get it now. Like, sometimes I be wishing the drug rules apply to just regular life. Like, bro, don't make me have to chase you down for my own money. But anyway, vivid drug talk. I like it.
Shells, those feel like oatmeal, they sit in your stomach.
I like that. Shells feel like oatmeal, how they sit in your stomach. That's grimy, dog. That's fire.
Different color duct taste. I bet that shit got cut. My shit swimming. Made 2 to 5, now we winning. Catch me on the York, creased up, way spinning.
CO knocking out my sale price on the linen. Look.
That's tough. That's what I was talking about with a rapper jumping in with the same rhyme scheme, but then they upped the ante. Westside Gunn ended off with a prison bar, and then Conway jump in with a prison bar. The chemistry is tough right here.
You know the wheels got the big P's. The wrist freeze, diamonds dancing like Chris Breeze. 3,500 my sneakers, you can't.
Kind of unrelated, but them girls getting their money's worth from them Chris Brown meet and greets.
And I spin it like it's dope from Lotto. Sig throwing hollows. The bullet's big as a Corona bottle. It costs 20 bands for a convo. My niggas all couples. Last time I cooked up, I wore
20 grand a lunch with Benny the Butcher.
We the upper echelon of the hard rappers. The most sought after, bar after bar after bar after bar. We raw like soft at a traffic. Nigga got out of pocket and my dog clapping.
We raw like soft in the traffic is tough.
They know we the hardest. I hit that leg and they parked it. They want the wave like a dolphin. The gangsters you talking.
That's terrible.
We don't play, we don't.
They want to wave like a dolphin is not a good line.
We don't play, we on offense. Stick you and throw your chains in the garbage. They know we the hardest. Use your brain for they talk shit. Lock it low and aim for the target.
Hey, that song right there was a lyrical 3-man weave right there. The way they was passing it back and forth to each other. Whoo, the chemistry was unmatched, dog. This is just Griselda at their potential. We've seen them go back to back since then, and we've seen Conway and Westside Gunn especially go back and forth in and out of the same verse, but all 3 of them doing it is OD, dog. The way they were playing off each other's rhyme schemes was fire. The rhyme schemes were tough anyway, and then you had vivid imagery, dope braggadocio from everybody. While I kind of consider this all the same verse, and would it say one had a better verse than the other, I think Benny had a couple of lines that stood out. One for bad reason with that dolphin line, but he has some other tough one-liners that stick you and then throw your chain in the garbage line. Come on, dog. I think the beat was cool. It's more of a tone setter than just a great beat. You got the boom bap drums. You had real simple. I think that was a string sample, but really production-wise, Derringer just gave them a canvas and said, draw on it. Really fire song. This is Moselle. I think this is a guitar sample right here, but this sound is tough. I like this beat a lot.
This the theme music for the prize stretches. Whip up. I whip 5, I got 5 extras. 3, everybody is food tapes. Trifecta. Show these niggas in the game how to apply pressure. All my bitches got it, niggas don't even try to catch us. Hollow tips flying out of my heckler.
The rhyme scheme from Conway here is fine, but it's not really the lyrical acrobatics I'm used to, especially at this point in his career. He got a 3-syllable rhyme scheme, but no internal rhymes right here. The bars are pretty grimy though.
Shooter empty out his clip and bail. Sniffing Yale so long he lost his sense of smell. Before I hand on my clip,
cool verse.
Animals, this man on my strip. I'm 5'8", but 6'11". If I stand on my bricks, I cancel y'all quick.
It's a 4-syllable rhyme scheme.
Cannonballs with. I sat in prison, walking the yard, just planning all this. I'm in the kitchen counting cash. Did she disturb me? No. Revenge a dish for greedy niggas, you gotta serve it cold.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of a separation in the vividness of Benny's bars right here and his code talk versus Conway's. Conway's was cool, and some of this is, I've already heard this album plenty of times, so I know what's coming and how I feel about these songs, but I do want to point that out.
Felony shit, you can never be clicked. One night stands with women I would never be with. My OG putting me on. He loved telling me shit. Say black men in America could never be rich.
Hey yo, rocket wonders.
I don't know what your OG was talking about on that one. I don't even get what that's supposed to mean. Is that supposed to be deep?
Rocket wonders, wondering if I should rap John undercover for the whole summer poem with the scratch
Like playing with
numbers.
this sound right here.
Records to the Last Supper.
That Fear of God's to the Last Supper line was tough. To the Last Supper we had, and then Last Supper in the Bible. Fear of God playing into that.
So much coke, I made the Pyrex glass suffer. House of the very island styling. Don't pilot no China.
Some of this sound.
Started firing. Weak chick blew the nigga head back.
Come on.
Jetted to the Beverly Center. Blood stains in the investigator. Blick the valet. Now you rich him.
So that's the Westside Gunn special right here. And I think this album might have been the first time I heard Westside Gunn outside of like one feature, if I'm not mistaken. But the charisma oozing off of it. And I like how he paints this picture of the grimy street imagery mixed with high scale fashion. It got like Basquiat painting in a bando type vibes. What is really one of his signatures, and it's tough right here. Plus the rhyme scheme's tough. He going crazy right now.
Kalina Strada, my bitch. I'm on the order, my drip. I had to order more rich. The Philip tucked in my Tim. You better have my commissary or you get in that bitch. Sherry
I like
out
that
with
flow
my
right
kids.
there. Yeah, that song is it, man. It had a lot going for it. That beat is so out of the box, especially for that time period. It really got replicated and imitated a lot by other rappers in this lane after this album came out. But that unique slow-paced guitar sound with that shimmery, I think it was keys that came in. I think the biggest issue I have with this song is there's a clear separation between Benny and Westside Gunn's verse and Conway the Machine's verse. Like really clear separation, because everything that Conway had in his verse, Gunn and Benny had that and some. Conway had kind of a run-of-the-mill Conway the Machine verse where he'll take one rhyme scheme from the start to pretty much the end. He only had 2 different rhyme schemes in his verse, but they weren't crazy because they didn't have no internal rhymes. He didn't have too many standout lines. But before you get into the other 2 verses on the song, it seems like the imagery is there. But then you compare it to Benny's, where he was really giving you that vivid coat talk. Like you was in the trap with him. You was bagging up with him. Like first time listening to the song, you hear police open up, you gonna go to the toilet and flush it. That's how he put you in the trap. And then Westside Gunn doesn't have as sharp as a pen as Benny, but what he makes up for it with is that charisma and then his own unique imagery, what I talked about with the high fashion clashing with the street talk. You can flip a coin on who had the better verse out of Westside Gunn and Benny. I might slightly edge it to Benny, but they were both up there. That's a dope song overall though, even with that little issue I had with it. This is Cruiserweight Coat.
Who running this shit? It's not even close. The double R color nan and the shotty is close. That's the Buffalo niggas, they catch the bodies the most. 30 on my hip, I bet I will not get approached.
No internal, but I still like it because it's 4 syllables.
In Brentwood, mansion with the big pool, rocking my big jewels. I came up making fish move.
Here go the internal rhymes right here.
Don't call my phone if you ain't
That's his
buying
best
10
rhyme scheme he had on
kilos.
here.
My OG used to be the
That's a lot.
source, like benzene.
That's fire.
I'm like Sosa with
That's
the goons.
fire. That's hard, dog. That's hard. He used to be the source. He used to be the plug like Benzino. Benzino with the Source magazine. Come on, dog. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's Conway's best line on the album so far. Maybe the best line, period.
Griselda the label, but you niggas know better to play with us. And I'ma be stacking the way, and as soon as I feel like this rap shit don't pay enough.
Bro, they lied on Benny so bad, dog. Because Benny used to get all these criticisms that he always had the same flow, which I don't know where people got that from. They must have only heard 2 songs. Flow switch up here, and that was kind of common between this Tana Talk 4 and the Plus I Met, which at this point in time was really his only albums, his only projects. Well, besides the one that was pre-Griselda, but those are his only Griselda projects.
Ran it up cause I trap a lot. These niggas know about the cash I got. But my plug still playing broke. He an old Navy in an Apple Watch. When I'm getting in the fish weight, I don't need bait or tackle box. I'm a real dope boy, nigga. On my birthday, I got a half a block.
That fish line is tough. You could either take it in 1 or 2 ways, either or. The line is dope, but getting in the fish, you could be talking about getting in a fish bowl, or you could be talking about getting in fish scale, pure coat. But then the flip on is he don't need bait or a tackle box. That's a good line. One of them vocals up.
Hey yo, I bet G get you. Got the
The ad-libs is excessive. I like it.
Who the fuck said what? Portofino with the bouquet gush. Trust nobody but Pootie. Fell in love with the
I like
Uzi
that
at
line.
16.
Shout out Pootie. Shout out Pootie. And I did have a lot of Fly Guy Jr. hate in my heart until I realized how bad it really can get. And Fly Guy Jr., he not a problem. He not a problem I thought he was. Anyway, I still clearly got built up trauma from And Then You Pray For Me. Maybe I need to sort it out with like a hip hop therapist. Come on, dog.
Jake the Snake just don't care. Watch a nigga fly away. Watch a nigga fly. I know where your grandmama stay. I know where that bitch stay. So many bullets set your whole house on fire.
The song is cool, man, but every time Westside Gunn has popped up on here, the thought that comes to my mind is Westside Gunn got it. And not just as an executive producer, not just as a curator, he got it as a rapper. Like at this point in time in his career, he had all the lyricism that I think significantly improved after this album, but he had that it factor, dog. I think he had the best verse on this song, and that's without it being super lyrical, but it was everything but that. It was the ad-libs, and I think it's unique the fact that he was able to incorporate ad-libs and everyone kind of jumped on that train after it. But you taking an element that's kind of native to trap rap that makes Cardi's music more enjoyable, Travis Scott's music more enjoyable, Migos, all of those. You take that and apply this to a lane that's reflective of 90s East Coast boom bap, like that pure golden era of rap. That's something that's really special, and like a lot of stuff with Griselda, it got bit after that. So this verse wasn't as good as this verse on Moselle, but it really had elements. I think Benny had the next best verse. He didn't have as vivid imagery as he did on the other tracks, but he had a really dope flow there. He had probably the dopest flow on this song. And Conway the Machine, I didn't love his verse, but he had a pocket that I really liked when he got into that 2-syllable rhyme scheme with the internals, and then that Benzino line. Crazy. Easily the best bar on this song. But the song overall is cool. I think the beat is just cool too, but I do like some of those guitar elements. This is Freddie HotSpot.
They play sports. I race the Porsche through the streets with choppers. You know us, we like the Bucks through the Eastern Conference. I'm plugged on both coasts from.
For clarity, that's before Doc Rivers.
Tell me it's lit. Just pull up and sell me the shit. I bag a half and 3.5s with no scale in this bitch. You know how I play it. I press a button, your helmet get hit. Riding through magazines, tall as an elf in the blank. Beef in the air.
I hate them tall as a blank lines when they say something stupid like tall as a Oompa Loompa. But other than that, he's spazzing right now.
Stayed in the suite for so long, I got Mel at the Ritz. We betting on dice like the NFL on the strip. I
like
run
that
in the
Ritz
club,
line.
get more rings than my telephone get. This for the P's and my cold D's, I'm a federal with. My lawyer told me to breathe, them charges never gonna stick.
Lawyer must be YSL still.
Excellent
Excellent
Big
verse.
nigga came through clapping. Up behind Fridge, got the Mac started. He just came home from doing the stretch. Nobody put him on early. Herbs West got the bricks.
Come on, dog. Getting that storytelling.
You know, Pete from Utica did the stretch and came home and started shooting up and ill. Got the ace still. Hopped out, shot Pete on Drew with his brains later in Wakefield. 2 weeks later, we was bagging.
I think Wakefield got something to do with fashion. If so, he mixing more of that high fashion into now a street story, which is dope.
7 bullets in the same shot.
So vivid.
Now it's Gus missing. Get the mop. Get the bleach.
Came a long way
That
from
verse is
Kane. We was
crazy.
dealing, got my name out the kitchen.
Crazy.
Yeah. One shot, one kill when my dog clipped him. Scored on them niggas with 1 bullet. That's Rod Strickland. 450.
I like that line. Rod Strickland played on the Washington Bullets. That's tough.
Think you fucking with me, my bar's different. Rock the Dior with the car stitching. Boy, listen. Talk to him. See a
got the
spaceship
internals
with my
right here
garage
with the
doors
3-syllable.
lifted. My brother Vixen smoking Billy cigar twisting.
Hey, outside of Chef Dreds, this is the most complete song where all 3 rappers came with it. Now that said, guess who had the 3rd best verse? Conway the Machine. Like if there was the big 3, he would be Bosch right now. But that said, that was his best verse if you're not including Chef Dreds. And that was his best imagery here. His rhyme schemes were significantly better than the other 2 songs. For the reason he had the 3rd best verse though is because the other 2 went crazy, dog. Beanie had his best verse of the album on this song so far. The lyricism was really on point in this song with some of his best rhyme schemes on the album up to this point. and then you still got the vivid imagery, and everything was pointing towards Benny having the best verse until Westside Gunn came with it, dog. We talking about imagery, man. He had the vivid storytelling right here, really pulling something special out of his bag, because that's not a bag that he gets into too much, but he does have a couple of times where it does come off really, really well. But the vivid storytelling where it starts with a shootout and then he switches to the backstory and then slowly builds up to the same shootout that he started the verse with. I mean, it was masterful, dog. I like the delivery of the get the mop, get the bleach, and then the beat was pretty dope. It ain't the craziest beat. None of these beats have just been off the wall good, but it's the mood that it sets. And on this beat, I like the piano sample right there. I like the little vocals that play in the background, and then of course you got the boom bap drums. Dope song. Outside of Chef Dreds, this is the best one on here. This is Dr. Bird's. This beat is special.
Hey yo,
Super bright, shimmery keys.
I'm in Salvatore making Salat. Been taking 3 flavors. Shoot the nigga now, we speak later.
Come on, dog.
Barbara Whitney got the Mac with me, hid behind the Warhol. Dip the bird door, shut up the whole store.
I ain't gonna lie, this album so far is P Gunn, dog. More of that imagery where he's taking that street imagery, but this one he's really putting like shootouts in these fashion stores, high fashion stores. You got the ad libs, man. This verse is dope.
40 chains on, halo. I'm a god nigga, fear a god, jog a rocket nigga. I don't even jog, hanging out the wagon song.
Hey, my man is 2 for 2 with these Fear God bars. I like that. Fear God joggers, he don't even jog.
With the cop keys, I'm on the green Teslas. So Virgil, right brick on my brick.
That's the one, dog.
Right brick on my brick.
That's so hard.
Virgil, right brick on my brick.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that bar right there, that was like Westside Gunn's OBJ one-handed catch, dog. That line is sick. It takes so much creativity and charisma to pull off that line, to even think of that line. Virgil, how his off-white designs, he write the words of what it is on whatever he designing, and so he writing the word brick on Westside Gunn's brick. He should have did that and like put it in the museum somewhere, and it should have actually been a brick of coke. And then the delivery of that bar is flawless. That's tough.
Milk court is still awesome. Water whip coke, I still faucet. Rose out the faucet.
Lil' Brody
Verse
let off his 30,
amazing.
he ain't even flinch. Caught the body, dip to the A, nobody seen him since. I told Virgil, right brick on my brick. The nicest with this shit ain't
This
right
is so
this, I just
hard.
spit. White
This is
bitch
so
on my dick,
hard.
this ice drip on my fist. No shoe deal, but look at all this Nike shit that I get.
Come on, man. That's so hard, dog. For them to play out Westside Gunn's iconic line right there. They knew they had something with this song. They knew when Westside Gunn wrote that line, they had something right there. But then to flip that line, right brick on my brick, and flip a 5-syllable rhyme scheme with it, that's so crazy.
Doe Street is white shit that I pitch. 2 in the morning on the corner, night shift with my blick.
Still
No
going.
soda in this off-white shit that I whip. I'm rich, put all this off-white shit on my bitch. Yeah.
And then he got the 2 off-white flips. So he got the Virgil line, Virgil of an off-white. Then he had the off-white brick, the little tannish color code into the off-white, the actual brand line, the next line. Dude snapping.
Hauling Nash and Benny like James Worthy, Kareem and Magic. Every time Griselda
I ain't gonna lie, so far, you James Worthy.
I gave cocaine to users and OKs to shooters. I'm cocky, vintage Versace with the stone face Medusa.
Slanted
Sopranos.
5-syllable rhyme scheme right
We got
here.
gold plated Rugers.
Talk that
pistol.
mob
A
ish.
back flip you and blow your whole frame to poodle.
Come
Got
on.
all 10 on my whip.
That mob boss
White bitch on my
talk.
dick. Right whisk when I whip. That white brick on my brick. Runway
Come on,
Marchello.
dog.
That type shit on my bitch. Butterflies and spikes. That type shit on my
This
kick.
is so crazy, dog. Westside Gunn had the line, then Conway play off the line, then Benny play off the line in the same way where he'll take right brick on my brick and flip that into a 5-syllable rhyme scheme.
Rappers wanna
Nuts.
be trendy, they hoes wanna be friendly, but never. She wear forever 21 like it's Fendi.
I
told that
respect
bitch
it.
it's Givenchy. She pronounced it Givenchy.
Come on.
She wanna fuck me and
I think it's actually G. Monche.
what was she gonna do?
What would he
I'm
do?
still thinking militant. Old paraphernalia laying around, I got rid of it. Then settled all my differences. I really had a chicken with a tree stamp like I stepped on it with a Timberland. The butcher, nigga.
That is so crazy, dog. That line is so crazy. Dog, that line is so crazy. I really had a chicken with a tree stamp, like I stepped on it with a Timberland. Like he stepped on it, cut it with a Timberland, because the brick stamp is the shape of a tree and the Timberland is a tree. That line is so crazy, dog. That line is so crazy. That song is so crazy. I think they have a lot of amazing individual songs, but that song got to be up there as one of their best, dog. We'll get into this album at the end of how I feel about it as an overall album. Did they reach their potential? Did they not? They didn't. But this song right here, this is the potential of the big three in Griselda. You can make the case for a couple of other songs as their best song that they have together, the three of them, but I don't think anything captures their specific skill sets as good as this song does. For one, the beat is fire, and then all three verses. It's the one verse on this album up to this point where I don't think Conway significantly lagged behind Westside, Gunn, and two of them outshined the other. Everybody played their strengths. Westside, Gunn, charisma. As far as ad-libs on the song, this is probably his best work. The white brick on my brick line, and then the delivery was amazing. And then Conway the Machine, this is the technical rhyme schemes that he flashed at various points in the beginning of his career, most notably on like the Black Tape or Everybody's Food, that first one. The rhyme schemes were rapid fire, back to back. The imagery was grimy. Then when he started playing off the right brick on my brick line, it just got nasty, dog. Then Benny the Butcher back and clean up, dog. He went crazy. I think normally Benny's at his best when he's in that street talk, that trap talk bag. But here he was more in his mob boss bag. This is a bag that he's more into at this stage, current day 2024 of his career. The execution of it can be spotty, but it was amazing here. And then he played off the right brick on my brick line too with his rhyme scheme. And then that tree stamp Timberland line, dog. That is nuts. So yeah, amazing song, best song of the album. This is The Old Groove. Bro, I forgot this song was 7 minutes. What the heck they talk about for 7 minutes on this song? It sounds like the illest level of Castlevania ever.
From these niggas shooting bitches in heads. Back up off upstairs, I had them take to my reds. Stupid motherfucker ain't found a brick in the fridge. Only got 10K, fuck that, we going back, Lord. Fuck that, man, we going back. The fucking brick was 10K, fuck that, we going back. My shoot on syrup, the kicks I got on, you never heard of.
You a dangerous dude if you taking downers before you go spin the block on somebody.
Got a whole brick, I had to remix it. Shit look like Jermaine Dupri whipped it. Talk season, sick of bullets, keep hitting. Toss the F in like a flea flicker.
Rich nigga, they getting money while we richer. Key flippers, Mary Jeans, Louis V slippers. Out of town, OG shippers to the weed pitchers. You don't never squeeze your blicker, and that's where we differ.
For him using his 3-syllable rhyme scheme, but then taking that E sound of it and playing with that as the internal, it come off like an alliteration. That's tough, man. It's the bag that Conway really thrive in it when he's matching his street talk with the really complex lyricism.
Do not beef with us. How can we be touched? You niggas don't got reach enough. You not
like
street enough. I will come through your block and I street sweep it up.
Come on, man. The delivery here is so urgent.
I put on gold like a fucking Laker. Out west, pushing them foreign shit,
like...
suck bread. You know that my dick in the mouth, you bought that all about us. I caught a bomb in the A, but don't play for the Falcons.
I heard Westside Gunn, I think, pronounced Louboutins, Louboutins. Is that a thing? Do people actually pronounce it like that?
I used your baby mama for a stash option. I couldn't trust that bitch, so she was my last option. Every time we dropped, we gave hell to niggas. So they top 5 got all 3 Griselda members.
I ain't the one for the tussling. Quick to tell a bitch.
This modulation in the beat is crazy. Boy, you know how much Griselda love rapping about stretching 2 bricks to 5 bricks or 2 bricks to X amount of bricks. And they stretched a 2.5 minute song to a 7 minute song. That song shouldn't have been that long. Like I was listening to it like, dang, why don't I listen to this song more? And then as soon as they had the beat switch, and I remember Novel is on here too, I remember why. Now that said, I do think the actual beat of the beat change was dope. The keys sounded good, and then they modulated to a whole different feel, but with the same instruments. It sounded like it turned into live instruments, but I'm probably way wrong about that, but that's what it gave the vibe of. Novel's part, I don't like. I think there's some novelty, no pun intended, of having a singer rapping about street stuff, but they pull it off way better in about 3 minutes. The verses, this is either Conway's best verse or his second best verse, right behind Dr. Bird's. The rhyme scheme, the imagery, the griminess, all of it was really dope. He had the best verse on this song. This was a flip-flop of most of the album, where I think Benny had the lightest verse here. Now, he still has his vivid imagery here, but this was the least lyrical song that he had, the least lyrical verse that he had. And then Westside Gunn, he was dope. He had his regular charisma, delivery, and imagery coming off of amazing performances like Freddie HotSpot and Dr. Bird's. It is a slight notch below them, but it's still pretty dope. Overall, the song is pretty good. It just dragged out. This is Scotties. This beat is dope.
Hey, yo, she ain't got war gloves in the summer, doing my numbers, pair jumpers.
Hollow head lead dumpers.
Hey, Machine Gun wore gloves in the summer is such a basic line, but it's really, really tough. Hauling ass back and forth. Come on.
Who ran the phone? Who had the biggest locker?
Who had the Glock? Who had the Mac? Who had the biggest chopper?
That's
you getting
tough.
shot, you getting whacked. No need to get it.
The contrast of who had all the things that Westside Gunn listed, then all the things that Conway listed, where Westside Gunn was talking about stuff inside of jail and then Conway was talking about stuff outside of jail. That was tough.
Ain't no bumming back to Louis V. Lumberjack. Having paperwork parties for killing all folk rap. Gang, who can fuck with that?
Paperwork party is
Face
crazy.
covered with a bunch of tats. Hit him twice, double back. You niggas can't compare. This shit is unfair. Take a rapper chain and let my son wear it.
Come
I
on,
remember
dog.
listening.
At least they got respect for the chain. Benny was snatching chains and throwing them in the trash.
I remember listening to Woo in 95. Got my first strap from Conway in 99. Paper I was trying to find. That summer, I learned how to rob.
I be forgetting these boys some geezers. I was born in 94 and I'm old.
They don't want shootout, and my homie quit on me and got a job. Look how it happened.
I like
my
that
whole
line.
Family on. We like the Jacksons.
I like
you
that
so
line.
Right, you might could imagine the type of status. Was dead when them bricks was stamped. You was scared when them trips was planned. Nigga, I can fit a well in the big sedan.
Talk that Free Willy-ish.
Gon' probably take a L if I lift his hand. Haters be your biggest fans. Then they take the witness stand.
Talk that Gunner-ish. This song is fire, dog, where I think Dr. Bird's might be the best beat on here. I think this beat might even be a bigger indication of how creative Beat Butcher and Derringer are. This beat is so off the wall. I have no idea what instrument that is that has that twangy sound. I think it's either a guitar with a whole bunch of effects on it, or maybe some keys, or maybe a synth. But whatever it is, that is a out of the box sound, and it comes together really perfectly with those boom bap drums. While I think Chef Dreds was really, really dope with all three of them going back and forth, this is even more classic Griselda, where you have just Westside Gunn and Conway going back and forth, hauling that style. I think their verse was dope, and they don't really miss when they're going back and forth. And then Benny the Butcher added another dope verse. It wasn't his craziest verse on this album, but I think it's a significant step up from his verse on The Old Groove. Fire song, really led by the beat though. This is Kennedy.
Blow your fucking face off.
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 I blow your fucking face off.
Blow your fucking face off.
Hey, I said Dr. Birds were the best song, dog. I spoke too early. Put this up there, dog. Hey, I know they got a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if they got an R&B Hall of Fame, but put this in there. Start an R&B Hall of Fame and put this song in there, dog. Hey, man, this song's so ignorant, bruh. I still remember when I first heard this album. This was before I heard Birkin, where he did something super similar with Tiana Denise. I was literally rolling, dog, but the ignorance of them just repeating that refrain and Tiana Denise sounding as good as she did. Plus, you got the ad-libs over it, the smooth keys. They be saying that Griselda be scaring the females. Nah, throw this on a playlist, throw Birkin on a playlist, throw Aunt's Diary. You halfway home. No reason my thoughts for a 40-second song with one line should be that long, but that was that. This is City on the Map.
This for them niggas getting Jew money every time they step on the ad, get they chef on. Say muzzle talk before they step on the glass.
Son, that's so crazy. Bro, that line is so crazy. First, he set it up with saying, this for my dudes getting Jew money. And then he said, they say Mazel Tov when they step on the glass. So stepping on glass meth, cutting meth, which I ain't even know you really cut meth. I thought you just whip it up with the battery like a science experiment. But then the stepping on the glass, that's a little thing they do at Jewish weddings. And then they say Mazel Tov, congratulations. That's tough.
We came a long way from pushing grams. Say what you want, but you can't say I ever took the stand.
Gunn don't know nothing about that.
If we can't get to him, then we gon' cook his man.
My age student, I mean I do my homework. No ski mask, put in my own work. I do my homework. I do put in my own work.
Nah, bruh. 50 on some BS with that one, dog. If 50 is in your top 50 all time, it's time to redo your list.
Afraid that I'm wrong, I think I'm ready for war. What's up? I reflect the darkest cloud in the sky. I'm the coldest winter day when I'm out with the K.
His verse sucked, dog.
Till I come with the frostbite, let the D's find a strap in the snow after I toss it.
Nah. Now, for what it's worth, Conway was Conway and the beat was the beat. It's not the most groundbreaking verse from Conway, and it's not the most groundbreaking beat. And this is something that happens on a lot of Griselda projects, where because the content is the same, the style of production is the same, once you get towards the end of the album, if the verses are just good, it starts to get a little bit of stale. And that's how I feel about Conway, especially coming off of some of his better performances. But in a vacuum, there's nothing wrong with the beat. There's nothing wrong with his verses. The beat's actually quite good, but that 50 Cent verse was boo-boo. I don't really hold 50 in high regards anyways. I think he's a product of good production. His delivery is not good. It's not dynamic. And if you saying the most basic bars like what we got on there, and I don't know what that homework stuff was. And when you choose to rap on a minimal beat, a Griselda type beat, that pushes all the emphasis to the lyrics. So when your lyrics is trash, the beat's going to emphasize trash. The trash was on full display with a neon sign. This is May Store. This beat sound like something they play at a haunted house if the skeletons was selling coke.
I was staring on pots over with terrorist block soldiers. Yeah, I went from heroin to a Merrill Lynch stockbroker. She could have got a pair of tits for the pair of kicks I'm quoting. All my hoes crazy. I can't fuck unless she bipolar. Eastside legend like Sly and Rodney.
I kind of feel him on that.
Really beat white. I'm Mr. T from Rocky 3. You let these hoes sweet talk. Y'all niggas get rocked to sleep. You pay that bitch rent. I asked that hoe what she got for me.
Yo, his delivery is so aggressive too, dog. He in his red pill back with this verse too.
Main Street, pistol whip you, you get your face beat. 40 no safety talk, right where my waist be.
This flow is only cool to me. It's a little iffy.
Money chase me. Counting these bands have been a great week.
And then on top of that, it's only a 2-syllable rhyme scheme, which to me, if you're gonna make a 2-syllable rhyme scheme pop, you gotta go back to back. He's using it once in the internal of it. So the flow plus the rhyme scheme together, I ain't feeling it.
Chopper loaded, lock and loaded, snitching, I do not condone it. Pop is doming, I don't know
nah, this is
I
a good
keep
flow.
going 40 points, watch
scheme.
is frozen. I sent 10 from Toronto to San Antonio, but it's not the Rosen. Watch is floating out.
We know you fucking murder, shoot your way, can take it further. Hit your son up, hit your daughter, shot your bitch, fit on your coffin. Niggas stealing, my niggas in Ferrari with the top off, and niggas bossing. Need talk to stun the bricks, don't cost Boston. Favorite cars, joggers, jogging. Niggas think they
so you a liar. He just said he ain't jogging, now he jogging. He a liar. Here we go.
I'm a killer, and I'm gonna kill again. I wrote this with a devilish grin. I'm a criminal. What would Machine Gun do? Niggas will pistol whip your granny. Run a train on your mammy. I'm spiteful.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, that one was it. That line was it, dog. The rest of it, you can throw it in the trash. It's like, she said, what was she gonna do, I think 4 times on this poem. It was like every time was the 10th. They probably should have kept one of them. The last one, she got it together.
The life of, yeah.
cool song. In a Vacuum is pretty good, but at this point in time, the album's kind of dragging on a little bit too long for the lack of variety, is basically what I said about City on the Map, but this song was a little bit better. Conway was bringing up the back again. He had the lightest verse on here. And then Westside Gunn, this wasn't his best performance here, but it was pretty much on par with his verses here. I think Benny easily had the best verse. I like both him and Gunn's delivery. They just sounded really aggressive. Conway's verse, it wasn't the worst verse on here, and I think about halfway through it really started picking up, but I think it was a tad bit of a little bit too little too late, especially coming this late on the album. The Keisha Plum verse, I guess because it's WWCD is the official Griselda album, you gotta have her on here, but you also didn't have to. I mean, what do y'all want me to say about Keisha Plum that I haven't said before? You can write a poem on that caliber. Like, you can go right now. You probably don't even have to write it. You can probably freestyle a poem on that caliber. She's just saying random grimy stuff. There's no creativity to it. Nah, let me stop before I get into a rant. Okay, song, this is Lowery.
I appreciate your motherfucking attention, cause that's the most valuable thing you got in the planet.
Just kidding. We're not about to listen to the ramble again. This is Bang.
Hey yo, I use the arm and hammer just to fluff my brick. Say what I wanna say, and I don't give a fuck. I'm rich. Tuck my fit. Don't hesitate to bust my shit.
It's
I
a
tell
dope
you
rhyme
niggas
scheme.
like Kyrie, suck my dick. I don't pull up, let it bang, let it bang. Until I pull up, let it bang, let it bang. Until I pull up, let it bang.
Hey yo, SC gang, who fucking with that? Growing up, everybody mama loves Sean Crack. We got
Was listening in a stand with coke flipping in a pan. I brought enough quarters back to go scrimmage with the Rams. When it comes to my plug, it won't fit in a sedan. Comparing us, you can't do it. It's like Timberland's the Vans official.
I like that line too.
I used to be a man of the people. Hit the clubs and mingle. Used to dream one day I'd be fucking pink like a flamingo. That was back when I smoked cannabis. Man, but it was tough cause I was a fan of his. So it sucked to hand him his ass. Send me the Glock, 9 millies get cocked. I'm sending a shot, don't come around with them floss raps trying to stunt. Compare me to Meek, Big Willies get popped.
So if I'm not mistaken, that song when it first came out was a bonus track, which makes sense because it really doesn't fit the aesthetic of the rest of the album, and it feels like it was recorded at a different time. Like, this song clearly doesn't have the same mix as any of the other songs on this album. It was mixed way worse. It sounds borderline demo quality. The verse from Griselda are actually pretty good. Well, Westside Gunn, he didn't really do much, but Conway had a dope verse, Benny had a dope verse. Eminem, bro, I'm not a white kid from the suburbs, so my tolerance for hearing Eminem is quite low. Now, his old stuff, 2000 stuff, that's fire, but his stuff current day is dorky. Now, he had some stuff, he had some dope one-liners in there, probably about 5-6 dope one-liners, but he also had some dorky lines. The compare stuff he drug out too long. This Eminem, though, this is what you're gonna get from him in this day and age. You know, overall, did this album have flaws? Absolutely. Was it a perfect album? Nope. Was it their best album? Definitely not. But if you ranking it based on albums that capture Griselda's strengths and their aesthetic, if you take these highs, man, it's just not much that can compete with it. Album's not the craziest, but man, it got its moments, dog. For one, just the production is amazing. I think Scotties and Dr. Bird's, they're up there with some of the best Griselda beats. The rest of the album, I think they're really good production, but more so than any individual beat, it's just capturing that Griselda aesthetic, the dark, murky, grimy beats with the pure boom bap drums. So much focus on the lyricism. Only 2 choruses, both of them bad now, but only 2 choruses on this entire album. And then rap wise, you had huge moments from everybody. It was moments where Conway's griminess was on display, his lyricism was on display. Benny had the best lyricism on this album and his imagery crazy. And then Westside Gunn, up to this point in his career, this was his most charismatic performance. I mean, I'll go ahead and give him the MVP of this album, even if Benny had some better moments lyrically. What he did, especially on that first half of the album, some of his most enjoyable verses. Now, on the negative side, for one, this album drug off too long. It could have been done after Scotties, and whoa, I did not mean to disrespect Kennedy like that. It could have been done after Kennedy, and I think this would have been up there as one of their best albums, even with some really lackluster performances from Conway on the first couple of songs. And then speaking of, Conway just wasn't the best Conway. Conway can sometimes be hit or miss, but at this point in his career, he was normally hit, and it's like his music took a quick lull right here before picking back up, but he just didn't have the it factor that Benny and Westside Gunn had on this album. And then I wasn't really a fan of any of the features except except for the amazing Tiana Denise. But overall, man, this album is really, really special. I would love to hear a WWCD 2. There's a lot of potential with these three pairing up, and this was just a really critical moment for the careers and the progression of Griselda that for the most part they stepped up to the plate for.